Any questions, please? Yes.
Assalamu alaikum. So can I ask something about Mubahala?
Yes, you can.
So it's only one question, but with different parts. The first is, who is eligible actually for Mubahala? Is the Prophet himself only, or anyone else can be? And the subsequent part of it is, can any trace be made from the time of Hadhrat Mirza Tahir Ahmed up to Hadhrat Muslim Maud that any Mubahala was ever, challenge was ever made or ever discussed? The B part of it is,
There should be the C part. Two parts have already appeared.
This makes one part.
I see.
Because
Two sub.
the first
Sub-parts. Right. Yes.
now the B part is, what persons are supposed to be included in Mubahala? And the subsequent part of it is, when Hadhrat Sallallahu challenged the Jews, whom did he, under the Abna'ukum wa Nisa'ukum, whom did he take with him or intended to take with him? Sorry.
Yes, please. First of all, who has taught you the art of welding 4 questions into one and then breaking them into parts? I think it should be Mr. Rashid. Mr. Abdul Rashid, he's the past master in this art, isn't he? The first question is the fundamental, important question. The first part, I mean, of that question. That the Mubahala, who is authorized to go for a Mubahala? Now, you have to understand the very nature of Mubahala before you can truly comprehend truly answer this question. The fact is that Mubahala means if argumentation has failed and the adversary of truth has adopted an attitude so hostile and inimical towards the truth that there seems to be no way left out for making him understand. That is one part of this. And the second part of the same is, also, if you know positively that he is adamant and he is doing it intentionally, he is not deceived, he wants to deceive, and so he is criminally acting, and there is no question of his misunderstanding left. If that is the position, only then you can pray against him. Otherwise, you are not permitted to pray against him. That is one aspect of Mubahala. The other is that even then, when you are permitted to pray, when the situation demands such a prayer against someone, it is not permitted normally to do that. It's permitted for some purpose, to gain something. And that something can only be gained if that person is the leader of a people. His destruction leads others to the truth. Meaningless retribution is not in the ways of God. That we don't find anywhere. Purposeless, meaningless retribution is not Sunnatullah. So also you find in the case of Pharaoh, when he requested for forgiveness at the very last moment, Allah told him, we would keep your body intact, and that is the only forgiveness we can meet you. I mean, we can treat you with. The rest of your demands are rejected. Only would keep your body intact, because it was the bodily fear which compelled you to ultimately believe in Moses and the God of Moses. It was not the care for spirit which compel you. So because it's meaningless, that craving for forgiveness is meaningless because it's not for the sake of soul, it's for the sake of body. So will keep your body intact, but not just as a joke, to gain something out of it, so that the future generation, وَلِتَكُونَ لَمَنْ خَلْفَكَ آيَةً, so that the future generations draw lessons from it. So that anecdote, as mentioned in the Holy Quran, tells us that every act of God, every decision of God has deeper meanings, and it's never meaningless and purposeless or just for the sake of exhibition or show. So this mubahala also has to be taken seriously in this context, that if mubahala is permitted, it has to be permitted to gain a very serious purpose. Otherwise, if just man-to-man mubahala is permitted, havoc would be played with the world of religion. Each person would consider the other to be behaving wrongly with intentions, not with mistake. And he would be posing like God, and he would start condemning the adversary with impatience. And instead of having faith in his persuasion, in his conviction, in his logic, in long drawn out effort for the sake of the truth, he would cut his course short and start praying against others immediately, condemning this and condemning that. What sort of word that would be? So the permission also is not left to, this decision is not left to every individual either. A permission has to be sought or given from Allah. All these aspects are to be understood, and when you understand the nature of mubahala in this context, all your questions are solved. They're automatically dropped. They need not be asked, except for the historical context. When you look back in the limelight of Islamic history, you find that except for that one challenge that was thrown to the Kuffar in Makkah by Hadhrat Muhammad Mustafa Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, no other incident has taken place in which any Khalifa, any companion of the Holy Prophet of Islam threw such a challenge to his adversaries. Not a single incident. Secondly, this challenge itself that was thrown by Sallam, that challenge was not, did not generate from Huzur Akram Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam's own decision. It was an order, very clear order by Allah for him to do that. And because Allah alone knows what is passing within the hearts, He alone is in a position to judge the intentions. So He alone can declare somebody to be lost totally. And without that, prayer to lose hope against your adversary and to indulge in a condemnation prayer altogether, that is not permissible. That is against the teachings of the Holy Quran, the practice and the traditions of Hadhrat Muhammad Mustafa Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, and also the traditions of the earlier prophets. Noah, for instance, is a very fit example. He is the one person about whom people generally know that he prayed against his adversaries and so totally condemned them, that he said none of them should be permitted to survive, or they would give birth to unrighteous people. This is in a nutshell his prayer.